It's a Tuesday and it's a 10:15 in the morning. You're still in bed, not because you're sick, not because you called out, because nobody expects you anywhere. Your phone buzzes on the nightstand. You reach over half awake and there it is. A deposit notification, $412. You didn't do anything for it. You didn't wake up at 6. You didn't answer a single email. You didn't sit in traffic pretending to enjoy a podcast. That money just arrived. Because somewhere out there, a company you own a tiny slice of decided to send you your cut of the profits. And that $412 is going to hit your account again in 3 months, and again after that. Forever if you play it right. That's the fantasy, isn't it? The dream they sell you on every finance channel with a Lamborghini in the thumbnail. Live off dividends, never work again. And here's the thing, it's not a lie. It's completely real. People do it. But there's a number nobody wants to say out loud, because the number is where the dream meets the math, and the math doesn't care about your feelings. So let's find your number, the exact one. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it, and you'll never look at a paycheck the same way again. First, let me tell you how this actually works underneath, because most people get it backwards. When you buy a share of a company, a real established one, you're not just betting the price goes up. Some of these companies make so much money they literally don't know what to do with all of it. So 4 times a year, they take a pile of that profit and split it among everyone who owns shares. That's a dividend. You own the share, you get paid, you don't sell anything. The share stays yours. It's like owning an apartment and collecting rent, except you never fix a toilet at 2 in the morning and the tenant never calls you. Now here's the number game. The whole thing runs on something called yield, a percentage. It tells you how much cash you get per year for every dollar you park. And the yields you can actually trust, the ones that don't blow up in your face, live in a boring little range, around 3 to 4%. That's it. I know you saw a stock online paying 12%. We'll get to that. That 12% is a trap with lipstick on it, and I'll show you why in a minute. So let's do the arithmetic that changes lives. Say you want to live on $4,000 a month. That's $48,000 a year, modest, real, the kind of number a normal person actually needs to cover rent, food, a car, a little breathing room. At a safe 4% yield, how much do you need sitting in the market to throw off $48,000 a year without you touching the principal? $1.2 million. Let that land. To replace a $48,000 salary, to make your alarm clock optional for the rest of your life, you need $1.2 million invested. And if you'd rather be safe and use 3%, that number climbs to $1.6 million. That's the part the Lamborghini thumbnails skip. That's the wall people hit when they finally sit down and run it themselves at midnight, staring at a calculator, feeling their stomach drop. And I watched someone hit that wall. A guy I know, call him the version of you that started paying attention too late. 41 years old, decent job, 70 grand a year. He'd been dreaming about this for years, telling everyone at the barbecue he was going to live off dividends someday. And then one night he actually did the math. He had $18,000 invested. $18,000. At 4%, that's $720 a year, $60 a month. He needed $1.2 million and he had enough to generate one dinner out. He told me he felt like the floor opened up. Like the dream had been a cartoon he'd been walking on, and someone finally looked down. But here's where it gets interesting, and here's where the insiders quietly split off from the crowd. Because that big scary number, 1.2 million, is not actually the point. It's the finish line. And nobody starts at the finish line. The people who actually get there don't stare at the million. They stare at something much smaller and much sneakier, and it's the thing my friend didn't understand yet. See that 12% stock I told you to be scared of? There's a reason it dangles a number that high. A company only pays you a monster yield when the market has already decided the company is in trouble. The share price has collapsed, so the payout looks huge as a percentage. It's bait. It's a store slashing prices because the building's on fire. The smart money doesn't chase the biggest number. The smart money chases the number that keeps growing every single year, and that distinction, that one boring-sounding distinction, is the entire secret. Because there's a force underneath all of this that turns $18,000 into something that can actually reach 7 figures, and almost nobody uses it on purpose. That force has a name, and it's the most boring word in finance, which is exactly why it works. Reinvestment. Here's the mechanic nobody feels in their gut until they see it move. When that $412 lands in your account, you have 2 choices. You spend it, a dinner, a tank of gas, gone. Or you take it and you buy more shares, and those new shares. They pay dividends too, which buy more shares, which pay more dividends. It's a snowball that packs its own snow. The dividend feeds the shares feed the dividend, and it loops on itself while you sleep. Slowly at first, painfully slowly. And then somewhere around year 12 or 15, it stops crawling and starts sprinting. Let me show you what that actually looks like, because this is the part that turned my friend's face from gray back to human. He was staring at his $18,000 like it was a life sentence. So we ran the real numbers together at his kitchen table, a cold coffee between us. Take that 18,000, add 500 a month, not glamorous, just what he could actually squeeze out. Grow it at a realistic 8% a year, dividends reinvested the whole way, not the fake 12, the honest 8. You know when he crosses 1.2 million around 28 years. And he sat back and said, 28 years, I'll be almost 70. That's not freedom, that's retirement. And he was right. That's the trap of only looking at the finish line. So we changed one thing, just one. We bumped the contribution from 500 to 1100 a month, the cost of getting serious, dropping the lease on the car he didn't need, cooking at home, the unglamorous stuff. Same 8%. And the finish line jumped from 28 years to 19. He didn't lose a decade. He bought one back with a number he could actually control. Because here's the truth nobody frames right. You cannot control the market's return, and you cannot conjure $1 million tomorrow. But the amount you feed the snowball every month, that's the one lever that's fully in your hands, and it's the one that moves the finish line the most. And this is where the whole thing quietly flips from terrifying to exciting, because you stop staring at 1.2 million and you start watching a different number, the one that grows, the monthly dividend. My friends was $60 a month, a joke, but we set a target, get it to $500 a month. Not $1 million, $500 a month of passive income. And suddenly the mountain was a staircase. 60 becomes 100, 100 becomes 250. Every reinvested dollar was a brick, and he could see the wall going up month by month. In a spreadsheet he checked like other people check the score of a game. That's the thing the insiders know and the thumbnails hide. Financial independence isn't a switch you flip at 1.2 million, it's a dimmer. At 15,000 a year in dividends, you can cover your rent. That's your housing handled by strangers forever. At 25,000, one spouse can quit, or you can drop to part-time and stop dreading Mondays. Every rung on the staircase buys back a piece of your life before you ever reach the top. You don't have to win the whole game to stop losing it. Now the honest part, the part that emerges once you've lived inside these numbers long enough. There's a cost to this that the dream never mentions. It's slow. It is agonizingly, unglamorously slow. For the first 10 years, the snowball barely looks like it's moving, and every single month you're choosing to feed a future version of yourself instead of the one sitting right there wanting the nice dinner. The people who make it aren't the ones who found a secret stock. They're the ones who kept feeding it when it was boring, when nothing seemed to happen, when the 12% trap was screaming at them to take the shortcut. Patience isn't a virtue here, it's the entire strategy. The market pays you to be the last one standing. My friend is 48 now, 7 years in. His dividends just crossed $410 a month, not enough to quit. Enough that his phone buzzes every quarter with money he didn't work for, and every time it does, he buys more of the thing that pays him. He's not rich, but he's no longer walking on a cartoon floor. There's real ground under him now, and it's rising. So picture it again. A Tuesday, 10:15 in the morning, still in bed. The phone buzzes. $412, arriving from work you did years ago, from a decision to feed the snowball one more time when it would have been easier not to. That deposit isn't the dream, it's the receipt. The dream was never $1.2 million. The dream was owning your own mornings, and the exact amount you need to buy the first one back. It's smaller than they told you. It starts today, and the only number that's ever really been in your control is the one you're willing to feed it. Most people wait for the million. The insiders build the machine. Which one wakes you up tomorrow?